Hello, fabulous people. This is the Together podcast, and this is the place where Cherise and I come together to help you get it together for your everyday business life. So we hope you enjoy.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing today? So this is Natalie. I should be live. It is. I am live. And Cherise is in the middle of traveling today. She had a traveling delay, so she's not where she expected to be able to be here today. So she figured it out and sent me a text message. I don't know what she sent me the text message. I read the text message about 15 minutes ago. And so, because I know we're going to take off for Thanksgiving and know we want to take off for Christmas, I didn't want to cancel it. I wanted to go ahead and meet with you guys. And then I thought, okay, what could I talk about that would be beneficial to you all, that would be a help for you guys? And then I decided to do a quick and dirty presentation. So I just, in like the last 5 minutes, created a presentation to do in Canva. And it's going to be kind of a preview of my workshop for you today, because I want you guys to get this information, and it'll be nice for me to do the information. And for anybody out there who might ever be in this situation, pro tip, which I got this from somebody before and I never went ahead and did it, is go ahead in Canva or whatever you like to do, present on, and create a basic blank template for your presentations. So if you ever need to throw a presentation together real quick, you have 5 to 10 slides that already have your name on it, already have your brand colors on there, and you can just go in there and type 10 tips out real quick to do it. So when I just did that and realized, shoot, I never did go back and do that presentation template for myself. So I just had to create brand colors and everything. So as I do this presentation, y'all, the colors are all off. It's probably misspelled words. Like I literally did this thing in the last like 5 to 10 minutes. And so I'm excited about it just because it was real fun to do. And I love like learning in process of things, like on the job. So it's like, oh, dang, I need to get that in place. So now I know I need to get it in place. So we'll get it in place for the next time. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and start. And so again, this is the same thing I've been talking to you guys about, presenting my workshop at the end of the year, which is the Private Practice Success Blueprint for 2025. And so I'm really excited about it, but I'm more excited about what creating a plan at the end of the year for the next year does for your business. And so when you create a plan for your business, you guys, if you create the plan and you never for the whole year look at the plan, you will still be more profitable because you spent the time sitting down and thinking about your business. It's like they say when you make a things to do list, even if you don't reference the things to do list back, if you come back in about 30 days, you completed everything on the things to do list. Because once you write it down, okay, you know kind of what you have to do, and you're more powerful in executing them and doing them. And so I want everybody within the sound of my voice to please take a day between now and January the 1st. I'm even say December the 31st, and just take a day. Go to Panera, go check into a hotel, go sit on the street downtown, wherever you work well at, get a corner in your house, wherever you work well at, and dedicate 8 hours to thinking about your business for 2025 and thinking about your business for 2024. So one of the things that I really like when I run my workshops is I make sure my people take a minute and just be grateful for what they did in 2024. So just take a minute and be grateful. So I'm grateful I'm still here. I'm grateful that my business is still in business. I'm grateful that at least one of my ideas got executed. I'm grateful for, y'all, I got my first never have known me before coaching client. I'm grateful for that like paid, because I've had some free coaching clients and I had some coaching clients and other things, but direct from social media sales a person that didn't know me in any other arena became my coaching client. And I'm really thankful for that in 2024. That was a goal that I have written here on my wall to get my first coaching client, and I did. And so I'm so thankful for that in 2024. And so I absolutely believe in gratitude. I believe it's so powerful. I believe some of y'all out there who are struggling with depression are not participating in gratitude. And so if you've been struggling with depression, we're going into the holidays. Some of you guys are more apt to struggle with depression in the holidays. I'm going to challenge you to get up every morning and write a gratitude list, and every evening before you go to bed to write a gratitude list. That will help you with your depressed mood like nothing else in the world. And so what happens is it will retrain your brain. If you do it every day, this is like exercise, you will retrain your brain to start to think positive, to start to be grateful, which will get you out of that depressed mood. Depressed mood is usually, it's so many things. I don't want to get too deep into that because y'all know I can't. I'm a mental health therapist at first. But that will be a help. So, but on the business perspective, on the business side, I want you guys really sitting down and being grateful. Did you accomplish something in your business to this year in 2024 that you've been trying to do for the last 10 years? Like, what are the things that you can be grateful for? And it might be a simple thing. Did you hire somebody new? Did you finally get something figured out in your business that you've been struggling with for years? Did it finally come together in 2024? And so really sit down, and that's the way I want you to start as you prepare for 2025, really looking at what can I be grateful for 2024? I think that's so, so important. Okay. Now, when you sit down and start planning, and so once we get past the gratitude stage and start planning, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to look at your life plan until age 100. I want you to look at your life plan until age 100. Now, some of y'all are like, Natalie, what you talking about? Okay. If you have not done the eulogy exercise, I want you to do the eulogy exercise. The eulogy exercise is, hold on, my feet are freezing. Okay. The eulogy exercise is where you sit down and you write your own eulogy. And so I want you to picture that you're age 100, 120, whatever works for you, the end of your life. And what would you want somebody to say about you in the eulogy? Do you want them to say this person was a wonderful support system? Do you want them to say this person left us $1 million? Do you want them to say this person loved us like nobody else? Do you want them to say this person accepted us? What do you want people to say about you when they're eulogizing you? And so after you do the eulogy exercise, then I want you to sit down and I want you to write out your life in for the next decades until you reach 100. So if you're 30, you're going to write 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and then 100 or 120 for some of you guys and really ambitious, really healthy people out there, 110, 120. And then I want you to write, what do you want each decade to be about? So if you're in your 30s and maybe you just got married, this decade needs to be about building family. Okay. Then let's say you have a couple of kids in your 30s and 40s. You're going to be worried about getting them to college, paying for college. What about the 40s is about building wealth? And then the 50s might be about building legacy. The 60s, you might spend the 60s just spending time with family. So I'm going to put spend time with family. You might spend your 70s. What would somebody spend their 70s as? Journalizing and recapping and dispensing their knowledge. So let's say your 70s is about dispensing knowledge. Your 80s may be about travel because you 80. What do you want to be doing besides spending money and traveling or what it is? So let's say 80s may be about travel. 90s may be about maybe let's say health and wellness. So really taking care of yourself in your 90s. And then let's say 100 plus is going to just be about pure enjoyment. I'm going to do everything for the joy of it. All right. When you start looking at your life for the whole lifespan, for some of y'all, that's going to decrease your stress. Some of you guys have this mentality that I got to do it all right now and I'm running out of time. If you are a person who feels like I got to do it all right now, I'm running out of time, then you are the number one person who needs to be writing their eulogy and figuring out what they want their whole life to be about. And so when you write your eulogy, hopefully you'll come away with some core values. And then you need to figure out how you want to express those core values in your life. So when I do this and when we do the full workshop on December the 21st, December the 21st, it's going to be Saturday. We're going to start at 10 a.m. It's going to be 6 hours of us going through these questions and you answering them. So for those of you guys who wouldn't be able to sit down on your own and do all of this information I'm saying, in the workshop, we're going to do it. So I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to answer the question. We're going to work through each and every one of these things because I'm going through it really fast right now and it really just requires you to be contemplative. But when you start looking at your whole life, not I got to get everything done right now, then, and my women are really bad about this. And so I'll talk to women who've like been trying to they got 5 kids under 5, a new marriage, a job, and they're trying to open a business and they're trying to do their PhD. Okay, no wonder you stressed out and burned out. Like you're trying to do too much. Spread it out. You have your whole lifetime. And so if you got 5 kids under 5, you need to focus on your family. So take 10 years and just focus on your family. And then the next 10 years, all your kids should be in school. Why don't y'all all focus on education? And then the next 10 years, some of them are moving out of the house. You can just focus on making money and legacy building. And so we all want to make money right now, but you really need to look at where does this fit in my life? When can I go hard? When do I need to just live off a little bit less and spend time with my family? A lot of us right now, I have a lot of friends, my whole cohort right now is dealing with elder care and spending time with these baby boomers because these baby boomers are trying to get up out of here. I just had an uncle who passed away last week. We just buried him on Friday. And so it just reminds me, these baby boomers are getting up out of here. So for a lot of you guys, y'all need to spend the next 5 years just spending time with these baby boomers and gaining their information and wisdom and knowledge and creating great memories with them. So that means, yes, take time to attend the family reunion. That means, yes, stop by your uncle's house just because. That means that you're going to just include all of these family things. So if that's important to you guys, please look at that. And so, okay, maybe I know y'all are really ambitious. So maybe as opposed to trying to create 3 businesses in 2025, we only create 1 business in 2025 so that we can make sure every Friday we take our mom to breakfast or we go see auntie or we do one family member a week where we do something special for them. And so just during this time period, because these baby boomers are not going to be here with us forever and they are just such lovely, good-hearted people that I just want us to soak up every minute we have left with them. So, okay, sorry to get a little mushy on y'all. All right, but back to the 100-year, making your plans. Look at your life and planning out to 100. Okay, you guys, if anybody is finding this helpful and y'all follow me on LinkedIn, Natalie, A.N. Elliott on LinkedIn, send me a message and let me know if y'all are enjoying this content or not. And also if you are enjoying this content, know that we're doing the workshop. I haven't released the link yet, but DM me on LinkedIn and I'll definitely make sure that we get you the link as soon as it's being up. Since I had a funeral last week, I got thrown off. So my people have the pages. I haven't proofread them yet to look at them, to post them. So it's my fault, not their fault. But okay, so easing on down the road. Ease on down the road. All right. Once you have looked at your life and done your eulogy, and you really have gotten a picture for what each decade in your life needs to be about. This is what I'm gonna be about in my 40s. This is what I'm gonna be about in my 50s. This is what I'm gonna be about in my 60s. This is what I'm gonna be about in my 70s. This is what I'm gonna be about in my 80s. This is what I'm gonna be about in my 90s. And then after that, man, it's gonna be this, and that. So once you've done that and you've got really clear, then we're going to bring it down to just focusing on the next 10 years of your life. So in the next 10 years of your life, what do you want to do? This is time for you to get unbelievably clear about what these next 10 years are. You guys, when you start looking at your life and writing down what you want your life to be about, you ain't gonna be worried about the election results. You are not gonna be worried about the day-to-day changes that you see, because you are looking at the long range plan. And usually, and they tell y'all this when you invest in the stock market, if you're looking at the day-to-day of the stock market, it'll drive you crazy. Like, you can't, you like gaining money, you losing money, gaining money, you losing money. The wind blow, you losing money. The wind blows again, you gaining money. And so they tell you with stock market, you really have to have long-term vision and planning and everything. So there's some stocks you need to put there, and you don't need to watch it from the day to day. You need to look at it in 10 years and see, does it have a profit? This is the same thing I want you to do for your life. I want you looking at your life for the next 10 years, and you will have unbelievable clarity when you sit down and plan for the next 10 years. And then you will feel yourself be solid. Just solid, because you know what you're doing. You know what the plan is. And of course, you have to write this stuff down, people. You can't just sit in your car on the way to work and think about it, because you're going to forget. Our brains don't hold on to information for the long term until we've repeated it. So does anybody follow Donald Miller? Donald Miller, I love that man. I'm going to take his trainings one day. I haven't yet, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But Donald Miller specifically talks about reading the plan for your life every day. So if you make these 10-year goals, what do you want to be about for the next 10 years? What word are you trying to study and be and really manifest in your life over the next 10 years? And you read that every day, that is going to give you a rock solid amount of clarity that is going to be unbelievable. Like, you will start to be one of those people that are just unflappable, unshakable, because you'll be so clear. So I'm challenging everybody to do that. Okay. Also with these 10-year goals, or the things that you want to accomplish over the next 10 years, organize them in a way. So if you want to, or I'll use myself. If I want to buy a liquor store, y'all. If anybody knows me, y'all don't want to buy a liquor store one day. Because I like the idea of being a therapist that sells negative coping skills and positive coping skills. So come to therapy. We'll get you on the positive coping skills. But when you don't want to do therapy, I want to be able to sell you a negative coping skill too. That's just something silly about me. So that y'all know a little bit more about me. But if I'm looking at my 10-year goals and my goal is to buy a liquor store, what year does that make sense to do? So does it make sense for me to focus on my service business first, which is therapy and growing that, and then buying the liquor store? Does it make sense for me to buy the liquor store now and then focus on the service business later, and then focus on something else later? And so as you're making your goals for the next 10 years, what makes sense to do first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th? What do you want the focus of each year to be? And then once you do that, and y'all, this is the time when I want you to dream really big, because this is a point where you can put something on your calendar and say, I'm going to do this in 2030, and make it a really big goal, so that you have 4 years to plan and accomplish it. So like, if you want to take your whole family to Thailand, I'm saying whole family, 10 to 20 people to Thailand, that's a nice big 4-year goal that you can accomplish, that you can pay for. Well, my cousins and I do a big like kids trip in the summertime. So next summer we have a family reunion. So we're not going to do anything big, but 2027, We trying to go to the Nickelodeon slime resort. And so that's a big goal that requires 2 or 3 years worth of saving and planning. And so when you put big goals on your plan like that, you're much, much more apt to accomplish them. It's hard in January when you want to take 20 people on a trip. Last time we did, we went Great Wolf Lodge and we had 26 of us. So when you're trying to move that many people, you need to plan years in advance with that. Okay, so looking at your 10-year goals, clarifying, dream big. These big goals require years worth of planning, and I really want you guys to start getting into planning ahead for the years ahead like that. What's a big goal you wanna accomplish that's gonna be at least 3, 4, 5 years out? Name a big goal. If you're on Facebook, put that in Cherise's. So that Cherise know that y'all are listening today. Put that in Cherise's DMs that your big goal for year whatever. My big goal for 2020-30. My big goal for 2033 is to do what? Put that into Cherise on Facebook, and I'm sure she'll send you guys a smile or something. I'll check in with her later. I think she's like in the middle of there. All right. So after you do your 10 years goals, then you're going to look at your 5-year goals. All right. Again, we're dreaming big with this. So hold on. All right. We're starting to think about what money is needed, what time is needed, what resources, and also what buy-in is needed. So if you're going to take your family on a big trip in, let's say 2030. All right. What buy-in do you need? What does that mean? Are we leaving the country? Do I need to get passports for everybody? If I'm getting passports for everybody, passports cost like, I think, $100. So do I need to do one passport a month per family member? Like, what buy-in do I need? And when you have these bigger goals, you really have to look at what resources and buy-in that you need. If you're trying to, like, say, scale your company up, I have a lot of clinicians, if you guys are listening to me, you want to scale up. One of the things you're going to have to figure out is that administrative side on the back end. And so are you going to be doing the administration work? If so, that means you have to decrease your client load. And so let's say if you were seeing anywhere from 20 to 30 clients, and now you want to scale up to where you have 5 clinicians under you, I'm going to say you need to schedule, I think, 3 hours of administrative work for each clinician you want to take on to the practice until you can afford to offload that onto an administrative person. Now, some of you guys may want to just sacrifice on your salary a little bit to go ahead and hire that administrative person, but it's a decision. So thinking about your 5-year goals and your resources and what's needed. All right, clinicians out there, I'm going to strongly advise you onboard one clinician per year until you feel like you have that down packed, meaning you know how to onboard them smoothly. You know how long it's going to take for you to fill them up with clients. What is full? What's your income from that? And so once you've done that about 3 times, then you're good. Now you can either start unloading faster, so one clinician every quarter, or multiple clinicians, like onboarding 3 clinicians per 6 months or something like that. But think about this in your 5-year goals. Like, what do I want? How many clinicians do I want to have in 5 years? If you grow too fast, think about those trees that topple over. I need to get a slide that does that. Those trees that topple over because they're too heavy at the top. I personally did that. I had a practice. I filled it with clinicians. I didn't have enough. It like toppled over, and it crushed me as it toppled over. That was probably my first big breakdown. So, okay. Then after we do the 5-year goals, we're going to drop down to 3-year goals. This is where we really get strategic and really get specific on, okay, what needs to be done first, second, third. So we're looking at what we're going to be doing over the next 3 years and that. And so we really start game planning. We're really going to start, your goals should be a lot more detailed when you're looking at the 3 years. Now it's almost time to start looking at quarters, what we're going to do each quarter, because the next 3 years, 4 quarters per year, that's 12 quarters. And so that we can strategically plan 12 quarters. All right. And then we bring it to here, 2025. Woohoo! Okay. So we're here in 2025. This is what I want you thinking about. All right. I want you thinking about, what do you want to accomplish in 2025? I want you to clearly write that down on a sheet of paper. I want this. I want this. I want this. Then, after we figured out exactly what we want, I want to create, hit this income level. I want to have this line of business grow. I want to have this amount of people on my email list. Okay. Once we get clear on each of those things, now we're going to take a look back at 2024. All right. So if I want 20 people, I'm just going to say a number. If I want 20 people let's go realistic number. I want 10,000 people on my email list in 2025. Okay. Let me look back at 2024. What were my email lists looking like? How was I getting people on the email list? Did I even have an email list? What does that look like? Okay, so in 2024, this is what I did. This is what I need to do differently. So you're going to use your cues from 2024 to figure out what needs to be done in 2025. What worked, what didn't work, what finally worked, what didn't work. What do we need to add? What do we need to increase? All right, now let me educate you guys real quick. Good business growth is growing your business by 15% every year consistently. And y'all hear Cherise talk about this too. Some of us can make great flash results and we can't do it consistently. And it's because you're not sitting down and strategically thinking, what do I need to do consistently? So as you look at 2024, I want you looking at all of your lines of business. Okay, so one of my lines of business was individual therapy. One of my lines of business was couples therapy. One of my line of business was workshops. I added that in 2024 because of you guys helping me increase that confidence. Thank you. So workshops were for 2024. Okay. And I think that's all. And coaching was a line of business for me in 2024. For my individual therapy, I'm not really trying to grow that anymore. So I'm just going to leave that line of business alone. I'm going to let it keep doing it, what it doing, how it does it. That's working. My couples, I'm actually going to completely change the way I do couples in 2025. And I'm adding on a maritalpreneur weekend retreat in 2025. So that's different from how I recruited couples in 2024. I'm not going to change what I did to recruit couples, to onboard client acquisition, to acquire clients in 2024. I'm not going to change. I'm just going to add this new retreat. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. My workshops, they worked well for me in 2024. Not only did they sell, thank you everybody. Not only did my workshops sell, but I also realized that my supervision line of business and me being a supervisor to other therapists got a little boost, and people became interested in being a sex therapist in the future because of those workshops. So in those workshops, I'm going to tweak them in 2025 because they worked in 2024. I want them to work better, and I want them to create at least a 15% increase. So what I realized in 2024, I came up with 4 workshops to do in 2024. One of them did not sell at all. And so I took that off the lineup and I replaced it with another one. So what doing my workshops taught me in 2024 is people like the sex stuff. They like the sex therapy 101, the sex therapy 102. And if I created a 103 and 104, then I'm probably building my name. 2, building my expertise in that area. 3, possibly getting supervisees and giving them a better way to spend more time with me. And 4, because these workshops are going to build on each other, I'm essentially building a client base for these particular type of workshops. So I'm really excited about that. So if I look at the workshops, and I don't know how much they created me because I just did this presentation in 35 minutes ago. I don't know how much money they created for me, but I'm going to look at that. I can probably pull the numbers up on Eventbrite. I'm going to look at that and I'm going to say, okay, if I want to get a 15% increase in my workshops, because that's stable growth that we can reproduce year after year after year, what do I need to do? So that workshop that didn't sell, we're going to X that out and we're going to bring in 2 more workshops that might sell. We're going to do that. Also, one of the things that I can do is these workshops that I did in 2024 were only for the state of Georgia. So I can go national with my workshops, and I can put some money into the campaign, into an ads campaign, now that we know we have something to work. Okay. So see how looking at my line of business in 2024 allows me to create a plan for 2025 based on that. And then you would do that in each of your lines of business. You can go through each of your lines of business for 2024 and then see where you're going to move, critique, change, what you can do differently. So I think that's all the slides I did. That is all the slides I did. All right, because I ran out of time. So now let me just talk to you guys without the slides on the rest of the things that you're going to do for 2025. All right. Once you figure out everything that you want to do for 2025 and you've broken it down and you've reviewed 2024, and you look at it, then you're going to sit down and you're going to break down exactly what it takes to do each thing. And so let's see. So I'm trying to keep doing individual. I'm not going to touch that line of business. The couples, I got to create these maritalpreneur weekends. The workshops, I'm going national with that. The coaching, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing with the coaching because it's working a little bit, and I just got the first client. So basically I just have to do more of what I've been doing on that. The supervision, the workshops are going to feed into the supervision, so I don't have to do anything with that line of business either. So really it's figuring out the workshops. That's going to give me a 15% price increase at least, and then the maritalpreneur weekend. So now I need to figure out and break down. I'm just going to take the maritalpreneur weekend because that's new, brand new for me. And I want you guys to see me work through what's this going to take. All right. So I'm going to do a, let's see, I'm going to have a weekend per quarter. So I'm going to do 4 retreat weekends, essentially. So 1 per quarter. If I wanted to get clients into that, I need to think of a marketing funnel so that I can get clients to these weekends. So if I'm going to create a marketing funnel, what does that mean I need to do? First of all, I need to start building my name in this area because it's a new product for me. So I need to start doing social media. Okay. Then I need to probably create a website or a landing page. I'm not going to do a whole website. This is just one service. It's not a whole business. It's just one service. So I'm just going to create a landing page for people to register. Okay. So we'll put up the landing pages after I pick the dates. And then what is it going to take for me to bring this line of business to fruition? So social media, I may want to do some paid ads, and I need to sit down and think about what, these people want to hear from me. So I need to get their problems. Somehow I need to listen to their voice and get their problems. Okay, so now let me break this down into what I'm going to do each quarter. Okay, so quarter 1, I'm going to focus on the social media. What I need to be doing, what I need to be saying, developing my client profile for this line of business. Y'all always need a client profile. Please tell me y'all have a client profile for every line of business that you have. So this line of business, maritalpreneurs, this is going to be my couples who are also entrepreneurs, maritalpreneurs. And so I will, in quarter 1, I'm going to have to do their ideal client profile. Maybe I'll do that even before client 1. I'm going to figure out what their chief complaints are, and then I'm going to figure out where I'm going to find them. I could tell you right now, I'm going to find them on LinkedIn because I can do a search on LinkedIn specifically for founders, specifically for business owners, specifically for CEOs, so things like that. So that'll be my primary social media. So focus number 1 is getting my focus of quarter number 1 for 2025 is getting the social media up off the ground and the client. Okay, so if that's the focus for quarter number 1, then let's make making the email list the focus of quarter number 2 in 2025. Quarter 2 in 2025 is going to be focusing on the email list, growing the email list, and hoping booking people into that program. And so in quarter number 2, hopefully I would have had some buzz by now. I'm getting somebody on social media saying, "Oh my gosh, your information is talking directly to me," which is what you always want. At least one person saying, "Feels like you're in my head, feels like you know exactly what's going on." That's when you know your social media is working. And in the workshop, we'll talk about specifically how you do that to get people on your social media. Like my coaching client that I just hired, she was like, "Your stuff aligns with me. It sounds like me." When she told her story, I was like, "It does align. It sounds exactly like you were where I was before." And so you want that align. So we're going to say quarter number 2, I'm going to focus on email, growing the email list, creating the premiums, figuring out what premium works best to get me the client. And then quarter number 3, we're probably going to focus on creating a podcast for it. So so by then I should know a little bit about what my maritalpreneurs want to hear. And so I can create the Maritalpreneur podcast. Now, seeing as I just came up with the name Maritalpreneur Podcast because I'm planning, I'm going to go ahead and buy that domain name. Because domains are my secret addiction. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that domain name. All right. But that's what we're going to do. Quarter 3 is focus on that podcast. And then, we'll also release that to YouTube. So I'm just going to put this there, YouTube. And then quarter number 4 will be all about reviewing what's working, probably revamping my ideal client profile, making sure it's working, reviewing what people are saying on the retreats, and executing, and then let's say figuring out how to grow it. Okay, so see, I looked at a line of business. I figured out how I wanted to grow it so that I don't overwhelm myself because I still work my practice. I have a focus for each quarter. And so with each line of business that you want to increase your profits in, that is what I would like for you to do. I would like for you to look very detailed at that line of business. I would like you to look at how to grow it each quarter next year. What are you going to add so you don't overwhelm yourself? You guys are getting overwhelmed and you're getting burnt out. And so you have these weeks of high productivity and then you have weeks of nothingness. If you say, okay, this is the focus for this quarter, I'm just going to figure out where to find these people on social media and hone in on my social media message. If I'm just going to do that, then that's all I'm going to do this quarter. That is a lot less taxing than, oh my God, I got to do social media and I got to put the email list together and I need to get the podcast going and I need to do this. Da, da, da. If we just focus on adding one focus each quarter, by the end of the year, we got a business. Okay, we should have profitable ones. Somewhere in there, I need to pick the retreat weekends and come up with the agenda, but all of that can be done. Also, I've been listening to this new guy, Daniel Priestley, and he's really talking about the effectiveness of a wait list. So I may in here push everything back and maybe say quarter 1, I need to focus on how to develop a wait list or just learning from Daniel on how to create a wait list. Also, you may look at your 2025 and say, okay, what's the one thing that I want to learn in 2025? What's the one thing that I want to learn? What's the one thing I need to get implemented in 2025? What is that going to cost me? And so I think for me, for 2025, my focus is going to be on growing an email list. That's for the main focus for all of my lines of businesses and really getting my email list to where they're functioning, rolling smoothly without me. So that's going to be an overall business. So for each of my lines of business. So I've had them before, and then we made changes in 2024. So I would put that as a semi-failure for 2024 or something to tweak for 2025. So we made changes to my email list when I moved from Mailtrip to Kartra, and things didn't get hooked up. And so I need to get all of my email lists running again. Also, I think you need an email list. Different coaches will tell you different things. So, of course, you can have a massive email list and then you can segment it. And so you definitely want to segment it when you can. And again, different coaches will tell you different things. So I won't go into a whole email list because I'm still learning a lot about email lists. All right. I would do that for each line of business. I would also probably pick a word for myself for the word 2025. In the year 2024, my word was consistency. I just wanted to be consistent this year. And I think I was more consistent than I ever have been before. And that was my word for 2024. All right. If y'all would put in LinkedIn, DM me what was your word for 2024 and what will be your word for 2025. Or if you want to, just your word for 2025. Right now, my word for 2025 is restorative. I want to feel restored in 2025 energy level. My energy level has been off this year. So I want to feel like restored, and I want everything I do to be restorative in 2025. I want these retreats to be restorative for couples in 2025. I don't know how that applies to my coaching clients, so I may have to come up with another word. But right now, 2025, I just wanted to be restorative. Like I'm feeling like I'm just being restored, rejuvenated, refilled. And so all of those kind of words is how I want the whole 2025 to feel for me. So I will, and I'm going to challenge you guys, once y'all have all of these things kind of written down, to put it in some type of document and some type of organization thing. And then I'm going to challenge you to put it on your calendar, and at least once per quarter, at the beginning of each quarter, sit down and sit down and review what you've written for that quarter, so that you really feel like you're staying on track for the year. And y'all, it's not necessarily that you're going to follow your plan exactly, because we don't know what the future holds for us. We might, let's say if we have another pandemic and everything has to shift, but there's such power in saying, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it. Now that I've said, okay, I'm going to focus on social media for maritalpreneurs in quarter one, emails for quarter two, and a podcast for quarter three, I feel less stressed because I have a plan. I have to follow. And so there's a Bible verse that says something to the equivalent of like, write the vision and make it plain so that they may run and not get weary. So this is a way for you to take care of yourself in 2025 by simply sitting down and writing out a plan for your business, writing out a plan for yourself, coming up with a word that you can hold on throughout the year, and saying that word over and over again, writing that word on your wall, probably getting somebody that has a Cricut to write it out on your wall. Those can be real pretty. Put it on your wall. And maybe the year 2025 for me is about restorative restoration. Just feeling renewed energy is what I want. And so what do you want for yourself? And please write this plan down. I promise. If you sit down and you go through all of this, you go through your 10-year plan, you go through your 5-year plan, you go through your 3-year plan, you really sit down and you look at what am I going to be working on each quarter in 2025, you will feel more relaxed. You will feel more on top of your game. You will feel more in charge of your business. Like you won't have that feeling of like, I don't know what's going on. You'll feel better about your life, better about yourself, better about the economy, and you literally will make more money. Like we have the science, we have the research. Companies that wrote down strategic plans make 15 to 30% more money than companies that don't. Don't quote me on the 30% part. I know the 15 part is true. But I think some statistics, anyway, is 30%. But like planning, even if you never look at the plan again, is so powerful for your business. So somewhere between now and December 31st, I want you sitting down and writing the plan. If you don't think you're going to be able to do it all by yourself, then sign up for my workshop. Hit me in the DMs on LinkedIn. Tell me you want to come to the workshop. I'll go ahead and send you the pay link. It's going to be $197 for the day because which is such a small investment for what you're going to get. If we're talking about you made 100,000 last year and we're doing a 15% increase, so I'm going to get you to this simple planning, taking this one workshop, which is basically $200, and by planning, you automatically going to make 15% profit next year. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. And to sit with people who are also going through this, it's a power to doing works in groups. It's a power to it. Same thing like the people say, it's a power to corporate prayer. There's a power when we come together and we do things in community. And then I think if you attend a workshop with me, you're going to get so much more, because I did all of this in 50 minutes with a presentation that I developed in 5 minutes. This workshop that I'm going to do on the 21st, I've been planning and thinking about it for weeks. Like, do I want to give them this, or this is going to be more valuable? Is this going to be more valuable? Okay, what does the research say about doing this plan over this type of plan? And it's all good. And so I'm so excited to give you guys the best big gift I could give your business for 2025. So, all right. I've had a wonderful time teaching you guys this information today. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Tell me what you thought in the comments. Tell Cherise that I did an okay job without her today, please. And hit me on LinkedIn in the DMs. Tell me what you thought. If you want to go ahead and pay for the workshop at the $197, go ahead so you can get locked in, because it is going to be a limited amount of people in the workshop so that everybody can feel like they're getting the information that they need. So I'm really excited about that. And that's my timer, y'all. It's time for me to go. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.